This is our chance to change things. This is our destiny.
And if you're wrong, then everyone on the island dies.
The answers are coming. ABC's Lost, the final season.
Hi, I'm Dave Morris, here in Pupco Studios, joined by the man who needs no introduction. It's George Lang, off the entertainment desk of the Oklahoman, and a big weekend coming up. It's the series finale of Lost.
Yes.
And I'm about to learn some things here because I like the show, but I haven't followed it, much a ton of people really follow it. But on planet46.com, you break it down for us, so take us there.
All week we've been focused on this. And really, if for the people who I've talked to who have come in the last season, and because they were curious about it, I'm like, don't mess with that. Just go back and hit the DVDs and absorb it, because there is an incredible amount to absorb with this show. When it debuted 6 seasons ago, a lot of us weren't really sure what it was going to be. Was it going to be a scripted Survivor? Was it going to be sort of a like a high-end Gilligan's Island? We didn't know. I mean, but what happened was you ended up with a drama, a serial with one of the most vast mythologies that's ever been constructed for television, and there are precedents for it. There was a series in the '60s called The Prisoner that was a similar mind-bender. But we've never had anything that was this ornate, because I mean, there are people who devote an incredible amount of time to deciphering, what does a person's name mean?
So they're reading between the lines, and there's a lot of numbers that come up in the show.
That is part of the sort of the joy of watching it is watching every little detail and deciphering what it means. So, it's been an extraordinary ride. And they have a lot of responsibility in ending it with this 2.5-hour finale.
And isn't that the rub with most either sequels in movies or long-running shows on TV?
Yes.
The letdown at the end.
It's always a rub. I mean, we saw this happen with a couple of major ones in the last 15 years. You had Seinfeld ending, and a lot of people were dissatisfied with what Larry David constructed for that. But if you know Larry David, it made perfect sense.
Didn't they wind up in jail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it was because of their character. It was, or their lack thereof, that they ended up in jail for violating a Good Samaritan law. And then there was also The Sopranos a few years ago, where it ended in a diner scene where Tony Soprano was seeing all of these sort of shady characters looking at him, and then halfway through the Journey song, Don't Stop Believing, it just cuts, dead, black. You didn't see anything, and you were left to your own devices to figure out exactly what happened to Tony Soprano. And a lot of people are furious with David Chase for the way he ended it, but to me, I think that was part of it also. You're left to think about what happened. Now, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with Lost, but I'll tell you this. There are so many little strands of plot here that I guarantee you that there are going to be many things that go unresolved. And so the chances that people are going to be dissatisfied with Lost are probably greater than maybe any other show that's had this kind of ending.
The series finale event.
As long as you're watching, why don't you join us?
What are you doing here, James?
Heard Desmond fell in a well, so I came to help him get out. Looks like somebody beat us both to the punch. Oh well.
ABC's Lost, the series finale event. Sunday at 7/6 Central on ABC.
All right, what needs to happen Sunday? What are the major plot lines that we need to look for, and what do you expect to see wrapped up?
Well, I think basically we just need to find out what's going to happen, and to these people who've been trying to get off the island, and ultimately what we've found out so far is that there's a very good chance that That's really off the table at this point. Now it's a matter of the entire survival of the world, maybe the universe, because now
I've really missed a lot from the first episode.
Because what's happened here is that Jack is being entrusted with guarding this cavern of light at the center of the island, which if that is extinguished, then possibly the sort of the crux of the human spirit goes out. And
no pressure, Jack.
No pressure at all. I mean, this is a guy who's a neurosurgeon, but that's a pressure-filled job. But guardian of the human race, that's a whole other thing. So we're going to be finding out just how that resolves, because right now it's him versus the smoke monster who looks like John Locke now. And we have to see exactly. I have a feeling I know who's going to prevail, but we just don't know how.
Is this setting itself up for a movie?
I don't see that they're going to
make... Or
make...
is Sunday it?
I don't see that they're going to make a movie immediately with this cast, but I could see...
It's a pretty big cast too, isn't it?
Oh, sure. But I can see 20 years from now, Hollywood being the way they are,
of course,
going back to the well here and saying, "Hey, look at what we had here." But I just can't imagine a show this detailed being solved. Carrying you from crash to redemption in 2 hours. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, George. You've written extensively about this, setting it up. Check that out at planet46.com, and of course, all your writings can be found on News OK and in the Oklahoman all the time. George, thanks for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me.